Good news for D-Wave Quantum. They are getting closer and closer to their market opportunity. Their near-term total addressable market, between $2 and $5 billion. Mid-term, between 25 and 50 billion, and long-term, between 450 billion and 850 billion total addressable market. And you look at the current market cap of D-Wave Quantum of only 2 billion, you can see their huge opportunities. And more recently, they announced a new customer. Ulic Supercomputing Center has purchased a D-Wave quantum computer, becoming the first high-performance computing center in the world to own a D-Wave Advantage, a nearly quantum computing system. Now, this is great news, not because they gain a new contract or they'll get a lot of money. No. This is great news because they are gaining more ground to create their ecosystem. If you read more, for instance, from Business Wire, you'll find out that also other researchers used D-Wave systems. For instance, in 2022, researchers from Sweden said that the results of D-Wave's calculations were considered remarkable. Other researchers from Slovenia used D-Wave, and also from Austria used D-Wave in combination with a supercomputer. Now, this is important because once D-Wave gains more attractions, their architecture becomes a standard. And if their architecture becomes the gold standard in quantum computing, then D-Wave can take advantage of this long-term opportunity of over 400 billion or close to 800 billion, around that range. Of course, in the short term, near term, 3 to 5 years, you can see that D-Wave already reached a market cap of 2 billion, as they expected. But be aware that total addressable market means the revenue they get. If you look at the revenue over the last years, you can see that it is around 8 million for 2023. And in the short term, this revenue is expected to reach more than 1 billion. So they still can increase the revenue. What you see in the market cap of 2 billion is the expectation of the market that D-Wave is well positioned to gain more market share in the near term, short term. And long term, you see the big opportunities. Besides this, they also announced that they will offer the systems on premise here. D-Wave announced that it is enabling research centers and other institutions, governments, to purchase on-premises D-Wave quantum computing systems. As D-Wave offers a system as quantum as a service and also on-premises, they'll gain more market share to push their architecture further, to attract more customers. And once they dominate this industry with their architecture, you can expect huge opportunities. More contracts from commercial customers, especially from commercial customers. Because if you look at the revenue right now here, you can see that most of the revenue comes from researchers and government. But once they build their standard, their architecture, they can gain more contracts from enterprise customers, commercial customers. And you can also see their bookings for the last years. And you look at the growth rate from 22 to 23, 73%, from 23 to 24, 128%. So as long as they continue their research, improve their architecture, attract more customers, researchers, governments, more scientists, they will be well positioned to gain access to this long-term market opportunity, over 400 billion. And of course, they also announced other programs such as Quantum Uplift to promote their system even more, to see the comparison between the systems and the current system in quantum computing, and help their customers choose their architecture. So this is good. They are trying to gain more ground in this industry. You already see that their systems are located in the US, Europe, and Canada. So they have a global coverage so far. And this is good. As long as they keep promoting their architecture and get more customers, they'll do quite well. What you have to be aware is, by the way, the CEO owns 2.5% of this company and the management together 7.2%. So they have an interest. But what you have to be aware is dilution, because for the moment they have no profits and they have to fund their research to push their architecture further, to improve their technology. And you have to be aware of dilution, not to have huge dilution. So far, they have increased the number of shares from 125 million to 200 million. It's okay at their size in the early stages, but be aware that you don't get something like this, an increase over 10x in the number of shares. Be aware of this. Then, as I said, for the moment, they don't have any profits. So dilution is likely to continue in the future. You can also see here the number of shares, how they increased year over year from 143 million to over 200 million. And if you look at their losses, were over 57 million for the last 9 months. They made 6.5 million revenue, but they spent over 56 million, close to 57 million. And this loss, they'll cover by issuing more shares or taking on more debt. You've seen that they have some money on hand, cash position over 177 million, but over the next years, after 2 years, after they burn their money, you have to follow the number of shares and see if they can reduce their losses, increase the revenue, and of course, the most important is their research. Because this technology is in the early stages, it will require more funds for their research and development. You can see their expenses. For the last 9 months, they used 25 million. A reduction compared to 2023. Well, this is not good or bad. It depends on their projects, what they're focusing on. The important thing is to see improvements in their technology and to understand the difference between quantum annealing and gate-based quantum computing. Annealing is for optimization, sampling problems. They focus on a small area. It doesn't perform general purpose quantum computing. And gate-based quantum computing is more like a general computer, capable of a broader range of algorithms. So this is the difference. Annealing can be much more efficient from what I found so far because they focus on a small area, they have some sampling, and they can deliver better results. And this is the advantage of this technology, quantum annealing, so far. In the future, as they continue to invest in the research, you may see better results. Maybe gate-based quantum will get a better performance, or quite the opposite. Quantum annealing may become the gold standard. That's why you have to follow those technologies. According to their reports, D-Wave is the best. But if you read the reports of other companies, you'll find the same thing. Their technology is the best. As they are in the early stages, we don't know for sure which one will be the winner. As long as, from what I've seen so far, if they continue to gain more customers, they may gain more market share by promoting their architecture. Because if you already have the people that know how to work with that architecture, it's much easier for an enterprise or company to use D-Wave Quantum because they can find the people that can work with this technology. But if you don't have a stable and large ecosystem in that architecture, you can't find the people to work for you. That's why I see an advantage, not only for D-Wave, but also for other companies, if they can push their architecture to become the gold standard. If they can do that, for sure, they can gain more market share from this long-term total addressable market to attract those commercial customers. If they can do that, then for sure the stock price will go up a lot. But till then, be aware of dilution of their profits and their technology, if it can perform better than the others. So that's it for this video, and if you have other questions, please let me know in the comments.